Considering a Swiss Army knife the OG of EDC, selecting the appropriate model can be challenging given the multitude of options available. Over the next few weeks, I will be reviewing several Swiss Army knives based on the size, the number of layers, and other features. Welcome, this is Haku EDC. Thank you for joining us today. Today is Sack Friday, where we review items that are related to Swiss Army knives and their competitors. Today we are going to be looking at Swiss Army knives based upon size. We begin with my most frequently used Swiss Army knives by size, ranging from 58 millimeters to 130 millimeters. That's about 2¼ inches to a little over 5 inches in length. I will highlight the ones I've utilized extensively since 2019. Please note that some of these models are not my personal favorites. Certain models have been in my use for 50 years. Huntsman's has an example. While others I have only started using the past 2 years, such as my newest one is a German Army knife. Some models are no longer available through Victorinox and can only be found on the resale market. I've got a few Wenger knives. Displayed here, displayed before you are the Swiss Army knives for which I will be providing a brief overview. More detailed reviews of each knife and others will follow in the coming weeks. Having used a Swiss Army knife since the 1960s, I welcome your questions in the comments below. Let us begin. We're going to go 3 at a time, and just as a reminder, these are not my favorites. These are the ones that I've used the most. I'm going to talk about one thing that I really like about them and why I carry them. This is the Manager. The Manager itself is one of those that I consider to be the Hall of Fame of multi-tools. If there's a multi-tool Hall of Fame, the Manager would be in it. It has just the right amount of tools that you would need and no more. It's a tool that you can pretty much carry everywhere. You can put it on a keychain, you put it inside your pocket, inside a pouch, you even can wear it inside your hat. The most interesting thing that it comes with is basically this combo tool, which is a Phillips head screwdriver, a wire cutter, a bottle opener, and it allows you to use the pen. So if you need something to write with, there you have it. I would carry this pretty much everywhere that I would go. It very rarely wasn't with me for a long time, especially I would say in 2019, 2020, that time frame. The next one is the Wenger Microlight. Everything is pretty much the same as in the Manager, but it has a couple of other interesting pieces. One, it does have a light. I don't know if you can tell there's a couple of batteries here, and let me turn on the light here by pressing it. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it. A white light, which is nicer than red lights. It also has one other unique tool that I really like. This is the screwdriver tool. It's basically this combo tool, but with a straight edge versus a Phillips. So that's why I like it. In the early 2015s or so, the 2020, and I traveled a lot, having to exchange out a SIM card was really important. So I actually would just pack this away underneath the plane, and then I would use that for my SIM card changes. The third one here is the Vic Executive. And if you've seen the other two, you will know why this one is very nice. It's basically a combination of the Manager and the Microlight. It does have this tool here for nails here and there for clean out your nails. It has more tools, and it has a larger pair of scissors. And these scissors are really interesting and nice. If you look at them closely, they're going to be a little bit more rugged scissors than on the other 58 millimeter ones from Victorinox, and also larger than what's on the Microlight. So that's why, and I would carry this one just inside actually my wallet for a while. I carry this inside my wallet, trading off on what was Wenger, not Pocket Pal. I'm trying to think of the name of it now. It'll come back to me, or I'll put it right up here. When you look at your 58, 65, and 75, what's your favorite one? And let me know down in the comments. Now these next three are interesting. I'm going to start off with the 84, and this is the Lumberjack. And the Lumberjack is one that I use quite often when I was out walking. And the main thing that it has one of these saws. The reason why I purchased this is that I was actually looking for a Bantam, but this Lumberjack, or Walker as it's sometimes called, has always been just much cheaper. So with the Bantam, you would get this piece and that piece, but with this one, you would get the extra saw. So I just said, well, I'll just get the saw, and this is one of the ones. This is the 85 inch. This is 85 millimeters, which is about 3 1/3 inches long from here to here. This was the first pocket knife, Victor, a Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to like see that I got, that wasn't red. It just was not red. And I just really liked this color. A Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to like see that I got, that wasn't red. It just was not red. And I just really liked this color, and I used it quite a bit. And I realized that you couldn't fly with it, so I just interchanged it with the next one that I'm going to talk about. But that's what I really liked about it. I liked the emblem. I liked the color. It just made me go berserk when I saw it. It also has a really interesting set of scissors here. A lot of these they're really serrated edged here, which makes them cut really nicely. As you can tell, probably the past few years I have not used this much at all, and I probably haven't used very many of the 85 millimeters in the past 5 years. The next one here, the Huntsman. Now this was a really difficult one. I've been using a Huntsman or Fillmaster, which is basically a Huntsman. The Fillmaster has a screwdriver. The Huntsman has a corkscrew since the 1970s, and for a long time they were my #1 pocket carry. One or the other ones of those, and I carry them quite often, quite a bit. Anytime I would go camping or some sort of extended hiking, I would have this Huntsman with me. When I was home, I would have a Fillmaster. After about 2020, most recently, if you were to ask me in the past year which 91 that I would use the most, it would be the Companion. The Companion itself is my desk tool. It's always on my desk when I want to open up a box, when I want to cut something, and I'm inside my office. That Companion is there. And so it's just easy to grab. I see it every day. And I'm actually going to be doing something with it that I'm just starting, and I'm going to talk about that in a future video. Those are these three here, and as I stated, they are just beautiful tools to use. I just find them very amazing that people use these now and in the past. We're getting into some of the larger ones and some of the more specialized ones and some of the ones that you may not have heard about. This is a 93 millimeters, which is about 3 2/3 inches long, and this is the Farmer X. I carry the Farmer X, I think, as much as any sack, besides maybe the Huntsman, over the past 5 years. It has been my go-to for quite a while. That I love to carry. It definitely was in my pouch or in my pocket. It's just a fantastic piece of machinery. It doesn't have any toothpicks or any of those other sort of layer pieces, but it's just very efficient. It's super heavy, so it just feels like it is a knife. The thing about the Farmer here is that this is similar to another one. I actually was looking for a Pioneer X, and I will tell you that my overall favorite Swiss Army knife made by Victorinox is the Pioneer X. You rarely see me with them because the ones that I have are primarily limited editions. And the reason for that is because I really started looking for Pioneer X, and the Farmer was less expensive. It has everything that the Pioneer X has, plus a saw. And because I do a lot of stuff in like the outdoors, I thought having a saw on this would be fantastic. I was looking at something that would have been comparable to like the Huntsman or Philmaster, and having the saw, the knife, and a fantastic set of scissors on this really got me going. And I still do carry it quite a bit. It has solved lots of problems for me and other folks at the same time. So that's the Farmer X. Not my favorite, but the one I carry the most of all of the 93 versions. I've got a lot of favorite Alex versions. Maybe I'll do my Alex my Alex collection in the future. This is, I want to say the floral, if I remember right. They come in multiple colors. This one is 100 millimeters, which is a little less than 4 inches. Now, don't do as much gardening or any gardening, but my wife does. And she would love this. But what I love this for, if you're going on like a family style picnic, or you're going out with some people and you're going to be cutting up cheese, meats, this is a fantastic piece to do it with. It literally cuts through cheese like butter, and cuts through meat like butter. And it's a folding one, and because it folds out, it's really easy to keep. You don't have to worry about stabbing yourself or stabbing anything at all once it's folded. And when it comes out, the knife is big enough that you can cut through pretty large slices of meat and cheese. And it's also has a different viewpoint. When I would take out like Huntsman, then and I would start cutting it, people would just look at me weird, like, has that knife been? Why are you cutting cheese and meat with it? I don't get those kinds of looks at all. So this is the 100 millimeter floral. These are relatively inexpensive also. I think that they're all less than 20 bucks in multiple colors. This is, of all the ones that you will see, this is the newest one here. I only had it for a few weeks. It is an offshoot of the German army knife, the Gat, but this is the civilian version by Victorinox. It's got a Swiss Army little shield on it. It's got this knife on it, which is very needs some work. I bought it. I do intend to restore it. I haven't started it yet, except for doing a small cleaning. But it has, and this is a piece that is really messed up, but I think that I can take care of it. This used to be a bottle opener, can opener, and also that part here you would use has a little scraper, and that's a saw. I'm going to do some grinding of this. I've already started a little bit, but I'll do some more to grind this down. This is the German army knife, the Gat. All these so far have been slip jointed, and they've just been really nice blades, really nice utensils, and what I've used them for. Once again, when you think about your 93 Alex, what's your favorite ones? Just let me know in the comments. Tell me use any of these? Would you use this one to cut meat, cheese? And have you done that? Or are people buying this to do their floral arrangement piece? Just let me know in the comments. There are a few that I haven't talked about much, and I'll tell you why. Some I don't have interest in getting. A sports ratchet, which I would be great for bicycling, and I should have got it when I was bicycling a lot more often. There's one related to golf. I don't golf, and so I didn't have any need for getting one or using one. And there's an auto one, which is similar to Swiss tools. That's something that really interesting me. Then there are others which I do have which interest me, but I didn't put it in a category because I didn't consider it quote unquote traditional. One would be the Swiss card, and just like my most used Swiss card is actually the nail care one. I have the Swiss Tool X. Let me turn it over on this side here. And then this one, or maybe it's the other way around. This one is 111. This Swiss tool is 111, and then the Spirit here is 105 millimeters long, if I'm correct about that. So 111 is like 1/3 inches. 105 is like a little over 4 inches long, and I just like them. I have used them. I have some other multi-tools that I've used significantly a lot more often. I've rarely used it all, although I have used it. This one I did use quite a bit when I first got it. We're at the large knives, the big knives. This one here is my favorite large knife. It is the Outrider. It is one that I've carried backpacking many places. I've just put it in a pack, and when I needed a large knife to just do something with wood or just to cut something, this would come out really quickly. Also has a really nice pair of scissors that have gotten scissor saws that's gotten a lot of use from cutting. Things are just, those two implements are just unbelievably needed for me to feel comfortable and to keep myself comfortable. It is a locking blade. That's the other nice piece about it. For people who want something that locks, these larger ones do lock. The Victorinox do have some that lock in smaller versions, and that makes a lot of sense to do that. This is it. It has enough of the right tools. A lot of people I know like the Champ XXL, which is huge. You can barely put it inside your hand. It's just so huge. But this has the exact tools that I need for the kinds of things that I'm going to be working with. I just really like this. This is by far my favorite Bic knife, the Outrider. I carry it with me so often that I just have it on like this little string for when I'm ready to take it and go. This is the one that I always get confused. I always want to call this the Ranger Everest, but it's actually the Ranger Mountaineer, and it's the Ranger 06. The Wenger knives. Most of these large Wenger knives have all been translated by Victorinox into something else. I think that this one has a number like Ranger 06 or 106 or something like that, if it has the Victorinox stable on it, logo on it. And this one's just a very nice knife. It's also a locking knife. It's got this liner lock piece here, which where a lot of the locking ones started with something like this, pushing up and down to unlock it and lock it. And if you look here, you can see that piece move in here so that you can lock it and unlock it. Sometimes I just use my finger and then I just do it. Doesn't have very many other special tools on it in my mind. Maybe just one exception. Got this nice long saw. It's got the Phillips here. but otherwise it's not anything special. The last one I'm going to talk about in this category is the uh, Ranger grip, which is 130 milliliters. This one is called the Ranger Grip 74 or 174 or any other number of things. It is, once again, it is a liner lock, but you push down on the Victorinox symbol to make it move. I don't know if you see that in there, to lock it or unlock it. This one I've used as often. It is not, although it looks very dirty here, I should have cleaned it off, which means it is one in the 130 category that I have used. There are a couple other ones. What makes this one kind of unique are these humongously shaped pliers. Now, these pliers do work if you can get something in, but they're just not wide enough. And you can get kind of multi-tool in the $20 range, or even that. The pliers are going to be wider here for larger bolts that you want to have, although the needle nose piece does work exceptionally well. But for all the work you have to do to get this out, a little space in there is just not enough. A lot of the things that you want to use it for. So when you see how much real estate it takes up, just basically almost 4 layers of real estate, it's something that you really should want to use and need to use before getting it. The other ones have scissors, and so people use them for and that makes it a lot more sense to me. But then they become very expensive gardening tools that are very good. This is the Ranger Grip 74. It's 130 millimeters, which is approximately, I think, 5 inches plus long. I have this one because I really wanted to try out what it would be like to have these pliers. And now that I've tried them out for a while now, been disappointed in them. You have the 111, the 120, and the 130. Outrider, Ranger 06 or Ranger Mountaineer, and also the Ranger 174 or 74. So that's the collection. I've showed you a few that are basically I didn't consider, but I just wanted to throw them out there so that you knew about them. Once again, if you like what you saw, please like, subscribe. I'm an old guy trying to boost this channel. People who know me, who have followed this channel, know that the Huntsman and Farmer X are the two of these that I've carried. And a quick review of these. This is the 58 millimeter, which is about 2¼ inches, and this is the Manager. The 65 millimeter, the Wenger Microlight, 65 millimeters, which is about 2½ inches or so, and I'm rounding with the inches. The next one here is the Victorinox Executive at 75 millimeters, which is about 3 inches, a little. The next one here is the 84 millimeter Lumberjack Walker, whichever you want to call it, or whichever that you want to call it. Next to it is the 85 millimeter Wenger Evo 14 Black. Which is, both these are about 3⅓ inches. The 91 millimeter Huntsman, 3½ inches. The 93 millimeter Farmer X, 3⅔ inches. The 100 millimeter Floral or Gardener, or whatever you want to talk about, which is a little less than 4 inches. The 108 millimeter Gat German Army knife at 4¼ inches. The 111 millimeter Outrider, which is 4⅓ inches. the Ranger Mountaineer 120 millimeters, 4 3/4 inches, and the 5-inch 130 millimeter Ranger 74. So those are the ones that I have carried. I do carry, um, and I probably will continue till I carry most of the. There are a few here, as I stated, I'm carrying them less, and they may switch over, especially when like you look into right here. I'll probably be those out, and over the next couple of years that will doubt that any of the others will of the 84 one. There's a possibility of that one. So this collection by size of the ones that I've used the most. I will be doing sometime in the future a collection by the number of layers, and so there'll only be about 4 or 5. But there's four, 6 of these because that's the number of layers that there are. Um, please comment if I missed something that you think is your favorite in any of these things. Please put them in the comments. I really want to know. If you have suggestions on how I can improve the channel, please let me know in the comments. This is Haku EDC. I'll see you in the future. Oh, wait a minute. If you want to see some more stuff about Swiss Army knives and things like it, please check here. And if you want to see some more stuff about Leatherman's multi-tools or similar, please look over here. Because there's a very nice one about that. Otherwise, this is Haku EDC, and I'll see you in the future.